Hello and welcome to Web City Properties Referral Program Training. My name is Jordan Da Silva. I am the president of Web City Properties, and I'm so excited to bring you this referral program and to help you learn more about real estate. Let's get started. First, I want to give you some information about Web City Properties and what we're all about. First, Web City Properties was founded by my father, John Da Silva. He was an immigrant from India, and he really started from nothing and was able to learn real estate over a number of years, learning from some great mentors. He started small, just buying a property here and there, and then he really grew through hard work and timing the market right. And over the course of his life, he developed a lot of tools and a lot of lessons that which we will use in this training, and that we want to give back what he taught us. We want to teach other people about as well. So we started Web City Properties, and now we have 10 people in our company, and we definitely have a value system of integrity, fairness, and giving back, focused really on the community. And this referral program is another way that we want to give back to the community. So this program, it is about giving back to the community, but it's also about finding deals. Right now, the real estate market's very hot. So we want to expand the way we look for deals. And the biggest thing we're going to teach about is distressed sellers. That is a word you're going to hear, a phrase you're going to hear very often throughout all the trainings about distressed sellers, people that need to sell their house fast, are willing to sell it at a discount. And distressed sellers can come from a variety of places in a variety of situations: losing their house due to foreclosures, losing it due to not paying taxes. They inherit a house that they don't want, or a house is just in really bad shape and they need to get rid of it. So we're going to talk a lot about distressed sellers. The main theme of this program will be teaching you how to find distressed sellers and us converting those with your help from distressed sellers to profitable leads. Besides that, of course, we're going to try to teach as much about other real estate information that we can give, and other skills: financial management, life skills, eating healthy, a variety of things that we believe will improve your quality of life and hopefully allow you to build wealth into the future. So just a little bit more about what our training will go over, an overview of what exactly this initial training will be about. Beginning, it will be mostly about just basic real estate concepts, starting from scratch, about the key things to know about real estate before investing and before looking for deals. So how do you research properties? How do you research real estate markets? So which city is best to invest in? How do you calculate where the values are going to go up? And that's important reason to research the market, not just the property itself. And then how do you make a fair offer? How do you know what a fair offer is? And that includes looking for how much you think renovation cost will be before you can sell, how much you think after renovation value will be. So we'll learn all about those important metrics and how do you calculate those things. And then, of course, you can't find deals until you build that brand, until you build your personal branding. So we're going to teach a lot about marketing, a lot about how do you talk to people, the pitches to use, the scripts to use, and how do you build your brand to make people want to call you. You know, because we can cold call and knock doors all we want, but the best deals usually come when people are trying to sell and they reach out to you because you built that personal brand, and you've shown to be a reputable person. And lastly, this training will go into some continuing education things, like I said, additional real estate knowledge to know mortgages, qualifying people, selling houses. So a variety of things that we'll learn. This initial training most likely won't include a lot of those things, but as you get into the group and as you continue in this program, you're going to learn a lot more about other real estate keys and other real estate concepts. And like I mentioned as well, life skills. So we'll continue to harp on that, and hopefully we'll bring in other experts, bring in people that know a lot about other things, including financial management being a really big one, working with banks, working with retirement income. A lot of those things are very important, and we'll definitely try to bring in experts to talk about those topics as well. And then what are our expectations? So, we want to give back. We want to give as much as we know about real estate and other things, but what do we expect from you? So the first thing and the most important thing is professional behavior. So if you're going to be in this program, just like you would in any job or any group, we expect professional behavior, good interactions between members, between us, and especially between sellers. So, like I said, distressed sellers, that's going to be the people that you talk to. And when you're talking to them, because you're part of our program, you'll be representing us as a company. And so it's important that you're professional, like you would be in any job, with those sellers and with those customers or clients, as you can also call them. So that's some very important professional behavior, integrity, honesty, us being able to trust you for your word. That's very important parts of our company. We expect everybody to have integrity, to be honest people. And then communication. So, a lot of these concepts, they may not be easy to understand at first, especially when you're starting to go out there and talk to people. You may be confused, you may not know what to say in all times, all situations. So the communication is important. Let us help you. You have to tell us what you don't understand and how your experience is going in order for us to help you. And we want to help you because if we help you, it helps us. We all win. So tell us how we can help you as you go throughout this program. And then report your leads. So we'll talk more about how do you report your leads, but when you get them, that's part of the integrity as well. So you're in this program, we're teaching you. We expect you to report when you have a good lead, and then work on your own time. So, we are not expecting you to do this as a full-time job. We're not expecting you to work, 24/7. So we're having this as a flexible opportunity for you. Having said that, it's going to take work. So this is not something that's easy. It's not easy to find leads. There's a lot of people out there obviously looking for leads, looking for distressed sellers, but it's going to take work. So that's an expectation that you have to have for this program. To be successful, you'll have to put in the work to learn and the work to use what you learn out in the field to look for leads. So how will the actual operation look? So I'm going to give you a really clear understanding of how this operations work. So once you complete this training and we do all our background work, have you sign all the different agreements that we have, there's not many, but once we have you sign everything that we need you to sign, then we're going to give you a customized real estate marketing kit. That includes customized door hangers, flyers, business cards, and we'll also look to help you build a website and build a Facebook brand as well, social media branding. And then additionally, we'll give you Web City Properties merchandise, hats, shirts, cups. So this will be good to show credibility because right now, as you're starting out, you'll have the personal branding being built, but we want to be able to give you our branding as a esteemed company, as a reputable company. You can look at our Facebook page, our website. You can show them that you're part of the company and use that as leverage to get deals to show that you have a credible company that you're with. And then as far as communication as we go, so like I said, communication is very important. So you're going to be in a Facebook group with everybody in the group, including members of Web City Properties, the employees that will be able to help you with any questions. So you can always message us on Facebook and give us questions in the actual Facebook group that we'll be able to answer. But if you do need a contact for any questions and you want to ask anything or have any questions about the training itself, Tanya at webcityproperties.com. So Tanya Garcia will be the contact for anything and everything for this referral program. So take that email down. She'll be the main person to contact. And then development. So you're taking the training, you're communicating, you're doing what the training says to do. But we also want to give you development as you go throughout. So we're not going to just give you this first training. We want to give you continued development training. So as we go throughout this group and as you grow and as you learn, we're going to continue to give more trainings, branding assistance, help grow your brand to different levels. And then, like I mentioned, we're going to bring in experts, not just for real estate, but for other topics as well, and have Q&As. So we're going to try to give you as much as we can to help you grow in this program. So now we're going to change gears a little bit and talk more about what exactly the program is, as far as what are we looking for as a company and what are you looking for when you're trying to find good leads. So first of all, we buy all types of property. We buy commercial, residential, land, buildings, houses. So we're very open. We don't want to close you into a very specific type of property to look for. So we buy everything: commercial, residential, land, buildings, houses. However, we only buy or only are looking to buy from sellers. So what this means is that we have to buy directly from the owner. The whole point of finding leads is to find the distressed sellers themselves. We don't want to find agents. We don't want to find wholesalers. Most of the time on Facebook Marketplace, when you're seeing house for sale, land for sale, you're seeing it from an agent. You're seeing it from a wholesaler. While those may be good deals, the wholesalers and the agents have already done the work that we're trying to do, which is to find the distressed seller. So they add a big commission on top of that and can make a deal that if you found it from the seller, it would be a good deal. They can make that turn into an average or below average deal that we don't want. So the whole point of this program is finding distressed sellers. And so we definitely will only want you to find and report a lead if it's directly from the seller. And you can verify that with the CAD information, which we'll talk about more, but you can go to the Dallas Central Appraisal District. You can search the property address and you can see who the owner is. And we'll talk about that more in depth in future trainings. And then as far as, like I said, we buy everything, but we do have some things that we prefer. We prefer people dealing with big issues. The more distressed you are, the faster you want to sell the property, and hopefully the cheaper you want to sell the property for, which can give us better margins for that deal, better numbers for that deal. So people dealing with foreclosures, they have a deadline to sell, right? Their auction for their property may be the next month, so they have to sell before then, or else they lose their property. So there'll be a lot more distressed to sell when you're dealing with a property going to auction, like in foreclosure or in tax. And then houses needing a lot of work. So this is more specific to us as far as our company. We have a lot of contractors that we work with, and so we're more well equipped to handle big rehabilitation, big renovation properties. And so that's what we typically look for. We look for houses needing a lot of work, as much work as possible without tearing the whole structure down. Is kind of what we look for. And then as far as location, we're only looking in Texas, specifically just 2-hour radius of Dallas, plus the big cities, Austin, Houston, San Antonio. What that means is we don't want to buy a property that's 3 hours away in West Texas in the middle of the desert, right? So we don't have the manpower right now to be able to handle those kind of deals with as far as rehabilitation, selling, managing. So it only makes sense to buy kind of within a 2-hour radius or in one of those big cities, because in the big cities, you can probably find people a lot easier to manage properties for you, but not so much in some of those small towns and in West Texas for sure. So that's what we're looking for. Let's go to what we are not looking for. So like I mentioned, we're not looking for wholesalers. We're not looking for deals listed by agents, nothing listed. So whenever you see a property for sale, you're looking at on Zillow or whatever website you're looking at, most of the time you're not going to find it directly from the seller there. So that's why, it's a little bit harder. It's not as easy as going on Facebook and finding deals. Otherwise, everyone would do it, obviously. So no listed properties. I can't emphasize that enough. And then this is just a very specific one, but it's good to mention. So we're not looking for any mobile homes without land. This is because mobile homes in itself is a depreciating asset. It's like buying a car, essentially. So we're looking for homes with land. Land is what appreciates. And so no mobile homes by themselves. You'll see a lot of that for sale by the sellers that own mobile homes on Facebook. You'll find a lot of those. But the reason they're being sold, right, is because, it's a depreciating asset. It's just like a car. So most people aren't looking to buy those by themselves. Same goes for us. We're not looking to buy any mobile homes by themselves. And then land requirements, and I don't want to get too specific here because we're open to a lot of different land, but no undeveloped land under 1 acre. What this means is land that has no utility access. If you buy it under 1 acre, a lot of times, especially in these small towns, it takes a lot of work to try to get utilities. Or sometimes they won't let you even put utilities on a property if you only have under 1 acre. So a lot of times, if you buy land under 1 acre that's undeveloped, you really can't do anything with it. You can't put utilities and then eventually put a house. So it has to be over 1 acre because of that. And then if you are buying a lot, like I mentioned, if it is under 1 acre, it's got to have access to utilities. So this includes, you're going to find a lot of lots in Dallas, in these bigger cities, and even these smaller cities. Just you got to make sure that they have access to utilities. And a way to do that most of the time is if you see, power lines, obviously there's going to be access to electricity most of the time. And then if you're looking at neighboring houses and there's a empty vacant lot in between them, then that's, 9 out of 10 times going to have access to utilities because there's houses next door, which means that there's sewage pipes. So that's going to mean that property will have access to city sewer and city power. So just look for those things. Very easy. Most of the time, especially in these bigger cities, lots are going to have access to utilities, but something to think about when you're looking at land. And we'll talk more about land, like I mentioned. So now let's get into pay. So how are you compensated? Why is this worth your while? Obviously, I think it's worth your while just because of the training that we're going to give you and how much we want to help you and give you mentorship. But of course, we believe in compensating people for their work as well. So if you bring in any qualified lead, that means that it follows the criteria that we just mentioned in the past 2 slides, then you're going to get $50 per qualified lead. And that's if it does not close. So even if you bring the lead, we call them, it doesn't work out, we'll still pay you $50, but it must fall under the buying criteria, including being directly from the seller. That's obviously very important. And what happens if we do close? What happens if you give us a deal, everything works out fine, and we do close? So you're going to at least get $1,000 base pay. Now, I can tell you from my research that this is not typical for these kind of programs. Most of the time, $1,000 is the maximum you'll get ever in any referral program. But we're going to give you $1,000 base pay for any deal, even a small deal that doesn't. Maybe it's just a vacant lot, and we'll pay you $1,000 base pay for that deal if we close. And then we'll also give you bonuses. So if we're able to get a house and it's a lot cheaper than what we normally think we could get that house for, then you're going to get compensated for bringing us a deal that we're going to make more money on. So the more money we make, the more money we pay you, because we believe that's fair. And then what happens if it's a qualified lead, we don't close, but we refer it to an agent or to a wholesaler? So this most of the time happens. Let's say we find a deal, but they want a little too much. We don't think we can afford that. We don't think it's worth our while. Well, sometimes you can refer it to an agent or a wholesaler, and they'll find somebody who's willing to pay X amount of dollars for that property. So if we do that, that person, that agent or wholesaler, is going to get a commission off of that deal. And so we've already agreed. We have wholesaler partners, we have agent partners that we work with on deals that we don't like. We refer to them, and they've agreed to give 10% of their commission to you, the person who referred the deal. So we want to give you many opportunities to get compensated for your leads. Even if they don't close, even if we don't close on them, we want to get you compensated for that lead. So it's really important to know that we want to help you get paid to grow your wealth, while at the same time teaching you as many important lessons that we know about real estate. So let's go into a little more detail, like I mentioned, that we were going to do about lead forms. So how do you submit these lead forms, and what information do you need? So we're going to go into the lead form right here. I'm going to show you exactly what we're looking for. So this is the Web City Properties referral lead information. First, you're going to give your name, you're going to give the date and your phone number. That way we know, make sure we know who's submitting the lead. then the property address. So just basic information. And this is the most important stuff that we need. Property address, the seller name, the seller's contact, preferably a phone number. And then if they have an asking price, then just put down what their asking price is. Now that's all the information we absolutely have to have. Not even the seller asking price. Really, we just need the contact and the name and the property address. Those are the three main things. However, if you can get an asking price, what they're looking to sell the property for, that's a bonus. Even bigger bonus, property details. Can you tell us about, how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, what's the square footage, what's the condition like? Is it occupied? Is it vacant? The more details you can include, the better. And then additionally, seller details. So you have the property details, the condition of the property, but also why are they looking to sell? Is it because they're going through foreclosure? Is it because they inherited the property? If we know why they're selling, then we can respond and give a corresponding offer. So if they're needing to sell in 2 weeks, the offer is obviously going to be a little lower than if it would have, if they want to sell in a year. And that's just because they're more desperate to sell. So they're willing to sell it for a little less, right? So just if you can give the details about why they're looking to sell, when they want to sell by, those are also important as well to include. And then any other details you can include in the bottom that don't fall under these two categories. The more details, like I said, the better. But it's the most key thing to include the seller name, the seller phone number, if possible, and so the property address, the seller name, and the seller phone number. Those are the three most important things. As long as you include those, we can contact the seller and we can get this other information, the asking price, the condition of the property, the details about why they're trying to sell the property, when they want to sell the property by. We can get all those details ourselves, but part of the training is hoping that you can be able to ask those questions, get the good answers, build that rapport, build that connection with the seller. And so that's kind of what we want you to progress to. At the beginning, you may just want to get those first key answers, but hopefully through the training, you're able to ask the right questions and get a better understanding of each property so you can analyze the property. So that's the lead information. Anytime you get a lead, even if it's someone that's, kind of cold, they may not want to sell the property. They may want to sell the property. You're not too sure. We will still pay you at $50 as long as you put this lead form in and it has the correct information, and we can verify that it's a real lead and that it's from the seller and it falls under our criteria. So remember this, we will give you access to this form through the Facebook group. Okay, so last couple things. We want to help you. So I just want to conclude this initial training, initial introduction to just tell you that we authentically, as a team, we want to help you succeed. We have the other trainings, we have the life skills, we have all the lessons that we've learned over our time here, as well as the connections that we've built at our fingertips to give you. So we want to help you. We want you to buy into this program, and we want you to ask questions and be curious, be interested in learning more. And we want to be there to answer all the questions that you have. So this concludes the first introduction training. You're going to have quite a few more just to begin, because we want to give you that knowledge. But once you're done with the training, you will be able to fill out the training summary form. All you got to do is really just, go over each of the trainings, a couple sentences each for each of the trainings. Tell us what you learned from that. That way we can verify that you completed the training. And once you do that and you complete that form, we will see that. We will give you some paperwork to sign. And then once all that is done, then you'll be able to begin using that training to go find leads. So if you have any questions, like I said, Tanya@webcityproperties.com, or you can message us on Facebook. Thank you for watching and good luck.